Hi everybody, this is Andy Chan. It is the middle of January 2026. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I'm an RCIC, and I've got, I guess, a bit of a passion for anything to do with AI. And this video, actually, like most of my videos, it's meant for other immigration practitioners. Uh, and in this particular video, I want to discuss something I saw last week. I noticed that there was a Canadian immigration website that allowed anybody. It was public facing to upload a resume and would calculate a CRS score plus evaluate different PNP programs if to see if that person would qualify. And so I realized, well, to be honest with you, I wasn't particularly comfortable because that website was essentially providing legal advice. Uh, so I thought, I had a version of this internally, something I built, I guess, a couple of years ago, using a custom GPT. It sort of worked, but there was some limitations. I've since switched most of my work over to Google and with Google Gemini and the various Google tools. So in this video, I thought it would be worthwhile for me to show other immigration practitioners how you could actually build your own and use it internally so you could speed up the analysis process. You can, if you build something like this, again, you can expose it on your website and have your customers direct access to it. I'm not so comfortable because, frankly, there is a chance that whatever AI tool you're using may be wrong. So why don't I walk through how I set this up using the Google tools and just explain how I configured everything. This I guess this video should take about half an hour. It's no code, but just a few places where you need to configure things. Okay. So what you're looking at is a NotebookLM. And if you don't know what NotebookLM does, it's a tool by Google that lets you upload files and have a Google Gemini uh, iterate through those files, and it's called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. It goes through the various files, breaks it down so it has a better idea what are the contents. In this Notebook LM, what I did was I went through and I went around and I imported the various websites and a few PDFs on, for example, Express Entry and the various PNP programs. I think I might have missed one or two, so you have to bear with me. But I think I grabbed all the ones that have information regarding the qualifications for the various PNP programs. And the reason why I did this is because I want the AI tool to focus on the data I'm providing it. And actually, if you're a bit lazy and you're not too concerned about the accuracy, or if the information is fairly static, what you can do is this, and this is true of most of the AI tools now. You can go into like OpenAI, Perplexity, the other tools, and you could actually prompt it by doing this. You can go into tools and click on deep research, and that would tell that particular AI tool you're using to go out to the various internet sites and pull in the latest information. Because if you don't do that, if you just say, I'm going to provide you a resume with with IELTS score, age, and so on, and just calculate for me. There's a chance that because you're not using deep research, if one of the PNP programs has changed, or or the PNP calculation has changed, it will be basing it on when that AI model was built. So, for example, Gemini, I think the latest Gemini 3.0 was built late 2025. Say there's a change to one of the PNP scores. And, since there's like, I guess 9 different provinces, add Quebec, plus Northwest Territories and the Yukon, that, one of them could easily change within the next few months, right? If you don't use deep research and you say, just calculate, for example, Alberta for me, Alberta may have, subsequently change how they do things since Gemini or whatever was created. So you can do that, but it's and it's a lot more straightforward than what I'm about to show you. But again, there's a chance that it's picking up old information. Okay, so back to this NotebookLM. So you see on the left-hand side all the various sources that I'm pulling in. So for example, if you click on PEI, this view basically shows all the text that was extracted by Gemini when I did this, add source, and I go click on a website, and I added that URL, and so that's essentially how I got all these links here. The middle part again is just a quick summary, and it lets you prompt NotebookLM for various pieces of information, just like all your other chatbots. Over on the right-hand side are some of the advanced features that are already built into NotebookLM, and there's really handy. For example, I added this flowchart where you can focus on the PNP streams, and then if you click on Saskatchewan, you could then find out the various Saskatchewan streams, or the BC PNP, and it'll break down the various aspects of it. So that's really handy. And then also, for example, and I'll just minimize that. Also, you have a data table, and I told it to compare all the provincial PNPs, and I think the prompt I put in was the length of work experience, language level, whether job offer was required, so on and so on. This was just based on one prompt, and I told it to just go through all these files and generate this table for me. Okay, and then one of the other things is I told it to generate a video.
Everyone, today we're diving into a really powerful pathway to getting permanent residency in Canada that honestly kind of flies under the radar.
So, and again, all you have to do is literally, if you wanted to, just click on the build button and it'll generate that for you. Okay, so, if you stop here and use this as a study guide, if you're like, for example, studying for your entry exam, NotebookLM is already a very powerful tool. Okay, so that's the first piece. Now, I focused most of my work in Google Gemini. Just as an aside, I used to have a version of this as a custom GPT, but the file limitations were so restrictive that I could only do CRS and BC. So I had a file like that, I think a year and a half ago. So that's when I was playing around with it. With NotebookLM, the file limitations are less restrictive. So because I have a pro license, I think I can upload 300 different files. Whereas a custom GPT, I think it was 10 files. Okay, so that's why I switched over to Google. Okay, so I'll show you then the next piece now. Now I'm just in Gemini versus NotebookLM, two different tools by Google. NotebookLM is the tool that I just showed you, where it can upload a whole bunch of files and you can prompt it and everything. What Gemini is a little more general, and you can have other tools, create images, like for example, deep research, create videos, kind of similar to what NotebookLM does. Right now, in the middle of January, for whatever reason, I'm not sure, if I wanted to reference these same files, it's got much lower limitation, much like ChatGPT actually. So in NotebookLM, I can have up to 300 files. In Gemini, I have a maximum of 10. So then you may wonder, why did they break this up apart? And for the time being, I think this is the reasoning, or the reason why Google did it this way. So it says a standard Gemini Gem maximum of 10 files, whereas a single notebook LM can hold up to 300 files. So, and in Notebook LM, they have built-in RAG, retrieval augmented generation. And so as of right now, this is the current configuration. I imagine within the next couple of months, this is going to change. But as of right now, what I've done is this. I'm using a Google Gemini Gem, which is basically another container of predefined prompts and maybe a few files that you reuse over and over again. But in this case, what I've done is I'm created a Google Gemini Gem and have it reference back to NotebookLM. And I'll show you how I did that. So hopefully this video bar isn't too distracting, but over here there's a little menu item called Explore Gems. I clicked it. Okay, so this is a whole different screen. Up on top, for now, this button will take you to another tool. Google's incorporated another tool called Google Opal, which helps you build a workflow. What the old way is, and I imagine they're going to merge these eventually. Down here is something else called Gem Manager. This is slightly older. And what I did was I created a new gem. And I'll just show you how I've configured it. Oops. So I'm opening it up. Okay. Sorry, let me just back up a bit here. So Gemini. And then here. Oh, click on edit. Yeah, clicked on the wrong button. So this is how I configured it. Okay, so the first thing is knowledge. I clicked on plus and I selected NotebookLM. So if I click on that, these are all the NotebookLMs I have associated with the same account. Okay, so this notebook is actually this. So it has all these files here. And these are either PDFs or HTML files. Okay, so that's my data source. And then over here are the instructions. So I said, act as an immigration consultant, analyze the data input and calculate the CRS score, plus all the various PNP programs that I reference inside here. And what I also said was, then go out to the internet and look at the most recent draws and then make an evaluation of perhaps how quickly this person may expect to receive an ITA. Okay, so there's this. So this based on this prompt here. So that's all this text. And let me just back up 1 second. Okay, so this is the system prompt. Okay, and it's disabled right now. But what I did was I clicked on this button. I entered in a very short prompt, and I actually used Gemini itself for it to look through my files and actually generate this much longer prompt. So you know, it's actually very clever. So, I provide the data sources, I provide a short prompt, but I still used AI to expand the prompt itself. Okay, so I thought that was a really cool feature. So it's this button here. Oh, okay. So that's the configuration of this Gemini Gem. So again, I referenced the NotebookLM and provided this really long prompt. Now I'm going to show you how this works. So I've got a fake resume here, and I made this resume up. It's based on a couple different people. I changed the name, and yeah, but I've got a few of these resumes. So, but I made sure that I had the person's birth date and the language score, because that's, obviously I need that as part of the CRS calculation. All right, so this is in one PDF file. Okay, and so what I can do is this. So back in Gemini, I can click on the Gemini Gem, right? And then I can click on the plus, and I just upload the file. And I'm uploading that PDF file here. So PhD AI example, which is this file. Click on open. So it's just a PDF file. I don't even need to type anything. And I click on run. And last time this took about 10 seconds, so it's pretty quick. So again, because it's already got the prompt built into the Gemini Gem, I don't even need to tell it what to do. It's already starting to calculate all of this. As a part of the prompt, I told it to go and make an estimate of the knock code based on the job description. Right, so I told it to estimate the express entry, and then I told it to go in and look at each of the PNP programs. Okay, so, and it's clever enough to say, oh, this sample resume has a PhD. Would you like me to calculate the potential score? Because it's I think it's called a ONIP reporting factor or something like that. I can't even recall anymore. But again, all I had to do was I just dropped in the PDF and I clicked on run, and it's doing all this based on the system prompt that I already put into the Gemini Gem. So again, I wanted to show how you can build your own. So let me just quickly summarize. I started with the NotebookLM, add a whole bunch of files. So it's all of this. I then went to Gemini Gem, referenced this NotebookLM, and provided it a system prompt. You in theory can do this all in one spot. So for example, the system prompt in Gemini Gem, you can actually have it in your NotebookLM. But if you're sharing this, or you don't want to show people how exactly you did this, or you can have a Gemini Gem reference multiple NotebookLMs. But anyways, for the time being, you can have NotebookLM containing these references. You can have Gemini Gem reference that NotebookLM. Then all you have to do is drop in a PDF file representing somebody's resume, and I'll start doing all this work for you. Again, I'm not comfortable just showing this to the public, because you're providing essential legal advice, but you're not actually checking anything, right? You're better off running this, keeping to yourself, and just treat Gemini Gem as nothing more than a writing aid. Oh, okay. So hopefully that's fairly clear what I've done. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I will link the previous video, I guess, on the YouTube side of things. I can link to the previous videos, and so maybe I'll create a series of videos on NotebookLM because as of right now, that's probably one of the more powerful tools, very easy to use tool to help people study. Like for example, you can add all these files, right? And you can create the mind mapping. This is called a mind map. Create this. If you're studying for your entry exam. Um, oops. You can create a mind map. You can create a data table. You can create a video. You can create flashcards and so on and so on. And you can create quite a slide deck too. And then if you wanted to say use this for work, but keep the internals to yourself, you can break it apart that way by having a Gemini Gem reference that notebook LM. So thank you for your time. Actually, I'm a little under time. I thought it'd take half an hour. So thank you very much. I've got a few other things I'm working on that are sort of tied to this, but hopefully I'll get around to rolling that out soon. Thanks for your time. And again, please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye-bye.